Principal, Wilson College. College, Wilson Cluster, Professor Dr. S.V. Rathod, Principal of Bhavans Hajarimal Somani College, Dr. Sirajuddin Chaugle, Principal, Maharashtra College. Resource person for today's guest talk, Dr. K.R. Kavita, Head of Botany Department and Registrar, Rupatunga University, Bangalore, faculty and student from various colleges, University of Mumbai and other universities. On behalf of Bhavans Hajarimal Somani College, Wilson College and Maharashtra College of Wilson College Cluster, University of Mumbai, I, Dr. Suraj Gadbiye, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Bhavans Hajarimal Somani College, heartily welcome you all for this webinar on Panorama of Plant Sciences, be an architect of your career in plant sciences. May I now request Professor Dr. A.G. Nikaje, Principal, Wilson College, Lead College of Wilson Cluster, University of Mumbai, to address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Principal Dr. S.V. Rathod, sir, of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavans Hajarimal Somani College, Mumbai. Principal Dr. Sirajuddin Chaugle, Principal of Maharashtra College. Our resource person, Madam is with us. Dr. K.R. Kavita, Associate Professor, Head of Botany Department and Registrar, Rupatunga University, Bangalore. Welcome, Madam. All teachers and student participants, welcome to one and all. This is at Wilson College Cluster Initiative. In Mumbai University, we have lead colleges, and under the lead college, so ours is cluster number 8. So there are 15 colleges, arts, science, commerce, and management colleges. We have one forensic college also under our group, and one autonomous college. So the cluster members, they all are collaborating and cooperating in the examination work. Recently, we have smoothly conducted the examinations, and the entry of marks is going on. So we keep having association with cluster colleges, the cluster members, in the form of academic collaborations, research collaborations. So as one of the initiatives of our cluster, this initiative is a webinar on panorama of plant sciences. So be an architect of your career in plant sciences, which is specially held for the students of 3 colleges, and also it is open to all cluster student members and teachers to attend. So, dear students and teachers, it's a very pleasurable moment that the 3 colleges have come together for this kind of activity. So here we are having this kind of collaborative gathering so as to guide the students and enhance their interest in the subject of botany. The panorama symbolizes the broad view and scope of the subject, plant science. Botany was one of my subjects in my college, and as my Wilson College Botany Department knows, it was one of my favorite subjects, and it should be the duty of every student and the teacher that to protect our Mother Earth by planting at least 1 tree every year. Because as being a researcher of green chemistry, it's our responsibility to keep our Earth, Mother Planet, green and make her greener by planting more and more trees and by taking care of the environment. Because now we are all aware of the various drawbacks and the calamities that we are facing due to the by removing the green canopy of the planet. So we should be now careful in maintaining the greenness of our planet Earth. So this theme and this webinar is specially to create interest among the students for plant sciences. The webinar aims at how to build interest and passion among the students in plant sciences and to find out routine and innovative career opportunities in the relevant areas. This webinar is expected to help the students connect different branches of the plant sciences, not only as students, but as explorers and researchers. Webinar may help the participants to understand the importance of certain areas of study like plant taxonomy, authentication of drug plants, the medicinal herbs and the medicinal plants, environmental studies, physiology, biotechnology in the field of academics, research and industry too, even in public service commissions. So there is a vast area in front of you and you can choose your own career. You can be your own architect. So there is a theme, be an architect of your career in plant sciences. So I wish a successful webinar and I hand over to the organizers.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your support, kind and inspiring word. May I now request Professor Dr. S.V. Rathod, sir, Principal of Bhavans Hajarimal Somani College, to address the audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Suraj Gajbiye, sir. Good afternoon, one and all. On behalf of Bhavans Hajarimal Somani College of Arts and Science and Jai Radhnas Patel College of Commerce and Management Studies, I extend a warm welcome to the today's resource persons, Dr. K. Kavita Madam, Professor Dr. Anna Nikalji Madam, Principal of Wilson College, Dr. Sirajuddin Chaugule, sir, Principal of Maharashtra College, all head of the departments and colleagues from Wilson College, Maharashtra College, and across the Maharashtra, you can say, and my dear students. As you all are aware, the title of the webinar is very appropriate at this moment because of this pandemic situations. Most of the peoples, they have spend their life because of the oxygen, and the oxygen which we are supposed to get in a sufficient quantity which we have not got, and because of that this second wave situation, many people, they have uh, lost their life. So this webinar involves around the diverse area of the plant science. The laboratory studies and the field studies are two different methods and approaches of studying any subject of science faculty. But in the subject like plant science, an excellent balance is required in these approaches. Field students indeed help in creating interest in plant science. This interest included in the students definitely help them to explore their subject in the better way, ultimately lead them towards better career avenues. The present webinar will help the participant to achieve their goals and careers in the plant science. I congratulate heads of botany departments of Bhavans College, Maharashtra College, as well as Wilson College for taking initiative for the collaborations and expect that such collaborations continue ever in the future. I wish the very best to all of you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Over to you, Suraj sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your support and wise word. May I now request Dr. Sirajuddin Chaugle, Principal, Maharashtra College, to address the participants of this webinar. Over to you, sir.
Suraj sir, please unmute Siraj sir. Suraj sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please.
Ma'am.
Hello, sir. Sirajuddin, sir, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Now it's okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible now.
Good afternoon to one and all. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to Wilson College Principal, Pratibha Madam. Thank you to Bhavan's College Principal Rathod Sir for once again coming together. Once again coming together for a joint webinar. Fortunately, we, that is Wilson College and Maharashtra College, have been doing many webinars for the last 1 year. We were not able to have this kind of webinar with Wilson College, but this is a beginning, and hopefully in the time to come, we will definitely have many more such joint ventures, which we can, which will be fruitful to our students. I would like to welcome the resource person, Madam Kavita, for this particular webinar on plants. Most important is that we need to keep such activities going on till the time the students are able to come back to the classroom physically, because there is no other way by which we can help our students to upgrade the knowledge, to give them better opportunities. With these kinds of webinars, we can do that. I would like to congratulate the Department of Botany of all the three colleges, Wilson College, Bhavan's College, and Maharashtra College, for taking this wonderful step for having this webinar for the interest of the students. Hopefully, the students after the webinar will definitely have added to their knowledge. Not only the students, we the teachers who are part and parcel over here, we also would be adding to our knowledge. I hope that the students gain, and once again taking the opportunity on behalf of Maharashtra College, on behalf of Wilson College, on behalf of Bhavan's College, I would like to thank Kavita Madam for giving her time for this particular webinar. With these few words, without coming in between the webinar and the students, I say thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your support and motivating word. Now, I would like to request all of you to put on your videos so that we will take one screenshot of the all participant. I request Bindu Madam and concerned staff member to take a screenshot.
Yes, sir.
Done, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, everyone. Request to all participants to put off their videos and mute yourself. Now, Andra Kaurana, senior most faculty member of Botany Department, Wilson College, to introduce today's resource person, Dr. K.R. Kavita, madam. Over to you, Sandra, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Suraj sir. A very good afternoon to all the esteemed dignitaries, the esteemed resource person, my dear teachers, and my dear students. It is my privilege to introduce our resource person for the day, Dr. K.R. Kavita, with her imposing and her impressive credentials. Dr. Kavita is an associate professor and registrar, HOD of the Botany Department for UG and PG students from 2015 onwards of the Nripatunga University, formerly referred to as the Government Science College in Bangalore. Dr. Kavita has completed her MSc in Botany in 1990 from the Bangalore University. She secured second rank and a gold medal in a special paper, Palynology. She has an MPhil in microbiology. She has also done her PhD in botany from the Bharatiya University in Coimbatore, the topic being studies on the bioactivity of Cypadessa pachyfera. I will now run you through the spectrum of her experiences. She was selected by the Karnataka Public Service Commission as a lecturer, Group A as a gazetted officer. She started her career in Biocon in the Quality Assurance Department and has had 28 years of teaching experience. Her designation credentials are extremely remarkable. As stated earlier, she is the registrar of the Rupathinga University in Bangalore, head of the botany department. She is also the academic dean of the Autonomous Government Science College from 2017 till date. She has served as a quality facilitator for State Quality Assurance Cell, constituted for the continuous evaluation of quality and excellence in government colleges of Karnataka. IQAC coordinator of the Government Science College, Bangalore. The college secured an exemplary A+ grade with a CGPA of 3.54 in the third NAC cycle. She is the chairperson on the Board of Examinations in Microbiology, Bangalore University. She is also a member of the Board of Studies in Environmental Sciences, Bangalore University, and a member of the Board of Examinations and Board of Studies of other courses as well. Dr. Kavita successfully juggles other hats of responsibility as well. She is the moderator for the e-content development, a steering committee member of NAC, member of the Autonomy Committee, core committee member of scheme colleges with potential for excellence. She has presented the CPE Phase 2 proposal on behalf of the institution to the UGC office, New Delhi. Member of the committee constituted by the Directorate of College Education, which visits autonomous institutions and subsequently presents the respective reports. This is in the state of Karnataka. She's a subject expert for the e-tendering process, a coordinator for preparing the institutional development plan, that is, proposals for obtaining unitary university status under the RUSA scheme of Government Science College. Let us now navigate towards Dr. Kavita's domain as a resource person. She is a resource person in sessions on preparation of the self-study report of NAC, as well as for autonomy preparation. Furthermore, I shall brief you about her research projects. As research person, the PG students' research projects are as follows: antioxidant and antimicrobial studies of Cipardessa bacifera, analysis of pollen grains in honey samples, floristic survey of Halkur ke Amrit Mahal Kaval, biodiversity of cyanobacteria and biodeterioration activity on the monument of Mosale Twin Temples. Last but not the least, Dr. Kavita has published research papers which have been presented on extremely reputed platforms. Dr. Kavita, you've taken my breath away with this trailblazing resume, and I'm sure everyone on this webinar will nod their head in agreement. We are really looking forward to this session, Dr. Kavita. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chandraman, for your elaborative and impressive introduction of the resource person. Before even inviting our resource person to begin with her presentation, I would like to request all participants to post your questions in a chat box so that we will take them at the end of the session. Thank you. May I now request Dr. K.R. Kavita to begin with her session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sandra, madam, for introducing me. Namaste. Good afternoon, all of you. Respected principals of the Wilson Cluster Colleges, Dr. S.V. Rathod, Principal Bhartiya Vidya Bhavan's Hazarimal Somani College, Mumbai, Dr. Sirajuddin Chugle, that is the Principal of Maharashtra College, Mumbai, and Professor A.G. Nikalje, who is the Wilson College, Principal of Wilson College, Mumbai, faculty members, and my dear students. I think it's indeed a very good opportunity for which I should be very, for which I'm very happy, actually sitting in Bangalore and able to virtually interact with all of you in Mumbai. This is really a great opportunity for me. Now, I would just like to I would like to just speak about the topic that I have chosen. I wish to acknowledge Dr. Suraj and B.M. Konde, who were in contact with me, and when they asked me to speak about the career opportunities or the options for plant science students of first and second year students of the cluster colleges. I readily agreed. And then when I just sat back and just thought that if I have to just present the options that are available in plant sciences, it would be pretty monotonous. And today, dear students, I'm sure with your tech savvy skills, you can just browse through the internet for these options and be quicker in finding them. So when I just sat over, I thought, let me just tweak the topic and uh, bring it out as to be an architect of your career. Because students, you are in the first and the second year. And I feel that you have ample opportunity, ample time actually in the next 2 years to groom yourselves, to mold yourselves, and to launch the career that you aspire for. And that is be not an architect, but be the architect of your career. This is the reason why I have chosen this topic. And before I just start my presentation, I would also like to tell you that this session may not be very, very technical because I just understand two things. One is the time factor, and the other one is that we are all on a virtual platform. And I'm so sure as students sitting at home after a heavy lunch, you may even be dozing a little bit. And there are very good faculty in your university who will actually give you all the technical details in the next 3 years. So what am I going to present? I'm going to share with you the rich experience and knowledge that I have gained in my 28 years. And I have just structured my talk into 2 parts. The first part is what you can do today. See, giving you the bird's eye view of all the options that are available to you, the traditional or the classical options of being a teacher, being a scientist, being a researcher is always there. But what is in your hands today? That's what is important. And this today, what best you can make of today will take you to that dream job of yours. So that's the reason why I chose this topic. So in this structured talk, the first half of it will be something to do that I will give you some tips as to how you can engineer your career in plant sciences. And in the second part of it, I will, of course, breeze you through the jobs opportunities available to you in plant sciences. I think, of course, to start with, I know you are all aware of the webinar etiquettes. I'm just telling you that you can please stay on mute and stay awake. Okay, so I have made my presentation as visual as possible so that you're not going to doze off. And then you can feel free to, if you have any questions, to post it. Yes, thank you. I'm sure all of you will follow this etiquettes to make our virtual interaction more pleasant and smooth. As all of you are aware that in the last 1 year, COVID-19 has disrupted everyone, all our lives. I'm sure you're all sitting at home now, as we are also in a partial lockdown. I was just going through, when I wanted to prepare for your talk, I was just going through one interesting report submitted by Dell Technologies. And students, you will not believe that this report says that in 2030, there will be new technologies available to us, which is not yet known today. And 85% of the jobs that will be present in 2030 is not existent today. How true this is? Because if you just look at what we are doing today, a virtual interactive meet with students of Mumbai sitting in Bangalore, I'm sure all faculty will agree with me that 3 years ago, we never dreamt of this. 10 years ago, we never thought that technology will actually slowly, supplement our offline teaching. We never even dreamt that there would be remote teaching, there would be remote learning, there would be digital learning. We never had these ideas, and we were not prepared also for it because we are learning about it now. But what I want to tell you is, if there are jobs that are going to be there in 2030 in plant sciences and technologies that we don't know, then how do we go about it? And I would also like to tell you that in the coming slides of that, you are the students who are the most fortunate, and the most opportune time in history to graduate is right now. And you are in that crux of time. So you get a lead start. So as I was telling you, now there are going to be jobs in 2030. What kind of jobs, madam? If we were in an offline position, you would have definitely asked me what kind of jobs are going to be there that we are not aware today. How do we prepare for something that we are not even aware of? So there is one very nice quote which says, you can't teach about things that don't exist. But of course, you can learn how to learn. Your curriculum is in your institute, which is very reputed. I was just going through the website. It's a very prestigious, very reputed college with fantastic faculty. They are absolutely doing their best in teaching you the academics. Madam was just telling me about the taxonomy, the genetics, what role we can play to protect Mother Earth, everything they've been telling you. But what about that job in 2030? Because you would have just graduated by then, and you would have just stepped into that career in 2030. So how do we now prepare? Because we have only today in our hands. How do we prepare for that 2030 jobs? And this is the challenge. So what I just thought was to share some of the ideas, my thoughts, and from what I have gained over the years. So I've just put it as the 6 things that you can do now to engineer your career in the future. Because students, I want you people to launch that career yourself. We all aspire as teachers that you have to be the molding yourselves, grooming yourselves, and be responsible for your career. That is what gives you most pride, and we also will be very proud that day. So there are 6 things I have just listed. It's not that this is very comprehensive or this is the ultimate. No, but these are the 6 things I think which will actually help you to groom yourselves. Out of the 6 things, the first one I have said is to fall in love with plant science. The second one is cold emailing. The third one is how do you enhance the subject domain? Try something new, get internship experience, build habits and life skills. I would like to just add that this pandemic has made us realize that if at all there is some branch that is going to find solutions to all the calamities and all the problems of the earth today, it is that branch, that is your plant science. So now we are at an age where plant sciences on the lead. See, there were years when computer science was leading, biotechnology was leading, or maybe mechanical engineering was leading. No, but today it is our turn. As botanists, we are going to have this head start. And you are right on time to take this head start and move ahead in your career. I hope I'm being audible. So I will go to the first mantra that says, fall in love with plant science. Now, it is here that I want to give you the panoramic view of what plant science is. And also at the same time, I would like to ask you, how do you fall in love with plant science? Or how do you fall in love with anything at all, first of all? Because until you love something, you cannot progress. And first and second year students, I don't know how many of you have chosen botany as one of the options with the love and passion for the subject. Because very often we see students choose botany choose BSc because they did not get a seat in their professional engineering and medical colleges, or they did not get some other seat. Many of the students will choose botany because somebody else told them. Maybe your teachers in your PU colleges or your school or your parents have told you, please go and join this subject. And some of you might have joined that, okay, let me just try because I didn't score enough. Okay, BSc is an option and plant science is an option. So you are a heterogeneous group. But then let me just tell you, tell all of you that you have chosen the right subject, and you must be very proud that you are students of plant science today. So coming back to how do you love your subject? See, whenever you just thinking back and recollecting, most often we love something when we are inspired by something, inspired by that. We love something because we are in wonder of that. We love something because we are motivated by that. I'm sure you all have had that experience in the past and also the present. When a teacher has taught you very well, or when the teacher has been very kind to you and friendly with you, you tend to love that subject. Or when a teacher has, inspired you, you tend to love that subject. Or you have seen some role model somewhere else and you have been inspired into that subject. So this is the way in which we can all fall in love with something. So today I'm asking you, let's, sit back and take a look at plant science, a very bird's eye view, and see if we can love this subject. As madam was just telling you, your principal was telling you, let me just ask you, you're not going to go to sleep. Just close your eyes, okay? And think of some beautiful scenery. What comes to your mind? I'm sure in that scenery you will have plants, because today without plants, absolutely you just can't imagine anything in life. So this is on one aspect. Let me just come to the crucial, daunting global issues that we are facing today. I'm so sad to tell you that I'm taking you a little away from the panoramic view that I've been promising you. Just now, madam was also telling you that we have a lot of issues that are actually haunting us today as a generation. If you look at the issues, I don't need to even list out the issues because the list is endless. But then you have, in fact, debated in your drawing rooms, debated in your colleges, debated on WhatsApp, the issues that we are facing today. And one issue that has been literally, bogged us down is the COVID-19, the consequences of COVID-19. Why did it happen? What about the virus? How are we really going to come back to our campus lives like early? So there are so many issues like this. So I just want you for a moment to come to put your attention to these issues. See, there are issues of climatic changes. And Mumbai, I remember, probably you were in your high school when you had a cloudburst. And we saw the very saddening images of what happened to Mumbai. Climate change has been causing a lot of havoc all over the world through floods and tsunami, etc. There are threats to the habitats, and you have many plants being affected. There is loss of biodiversity. And of course, one thing that we can never forget is the increase in the world population. There is soil degradation. This is one of the worst kind of things that is happening. And you will not believe that if you look at it, just for 1 centimeter of soil to be regenerated by nature, it takes nearly 200 years. And that soil is degrading very fast. And of course, we have the issues of our agricultural land being converted commercially for more of housing. There are issues of human health. And then we have global warming. Then whether we can have our natural resources are going to be left. What about the sustainability of these natural resources? So like this, the list can be endless. The point of this is not to make a big list, but to make you understand that we have so many problems. So where do we look for solutions? And this is the question that we have to ask ourselves. I've just put all these challenges, just some images for you to just understand. There are so many challenges that we are facing. So what about the solution? And with these challenges, we are going to ask a lot of questions, burning questions, like how do we actually feed the entire population? What about the food security? Can we produce new varieties? Because many crops, as you know, are infested with pathogens and infested with weeds, and then you also have the fertilizers and pesticides. So how do we make them disease resistance? And how to reduce the impending threat of global warming? And do we really have time? If you look at what all the scientists, the environmentalists are saying, is that we just have probably a decade or two left to reverse, or at least to make a reversal of whatever damage we have caused. If you look at the centuries of what human beings have done, we have interfered and we have been very callous in causing environmental damages that is irreversible. So we just have a very small period of probably 2 decades to do something meaningful to reverse what damage has been caused. Amidst all this, how do we maintain the global biodiversity? How do we study our medicinal plants so that we can promote health? And I'm sure the pandemic has taught you that every day you have, through the WhatsApp university, I call that as a WhatsApp university, every day you are seeing your WhatsApp, and each day they say you drink turmeric, you drink ginger, and scores of medicinal plants, and their utility has been coming out. How can we use plants for clean fuel and replace oil? So these are just a few questions that I've put. It's like the tip of the iceberg. So we have the challenges and the consequence of those challenges. We are trying to find an answer to reverse those challenges and do some meaningful intervention in them. So so this is on one hand. On the other hand, look at the beautiful panoramic view of the diversity that we see of plant species on the earth. As plant science students, I think in your first...
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry to disturb you.
Yes.
Have you shared the screen? Are you showing your presentation?
Yes, sir.
But we cannot see your presentation, ma'am.
Oh my God.
Please just share your screen.
I think I have to repeat the presentation then.
Yes, ma'am. We can see now.
Okay, then shall I just quickly go back to it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. I think you should have brought it to my notice earlier, sir. This is technology disruption. Well,
No problem, ma'am. Please continue.
Now it's visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So I'm very sorry for this a small lapse from my side. I had put it on share. Okay. So coming back to what, let me just, because I need to connect, otherwise you will be lost. So I was just telling you that you need to be the architect of your career. And this is the most opportune time in history to graduate is now. And you are in that point of time. So I was just telling you about 2030, the new technology, which has not yet been developed. Then I was just telling you how to learn. Okay, this is the quote I was just referring to, that you need to learn how to learn. And this is what we are doing. And coming to how to engineer your career, I had just put 6 things that you can do now. And I just want to relist this, that there is, you will have to fall in love with the plant science. Then you have cold emailing, enhance your subject domain, try something new, get internship experience, build habits. And I just told you that this branch, the branch that you will see most advancements in the next decades, is your life science. And then this is the slide which I was telling you, this is to fall in love with plant science. And these are the global issues that I had listed, where you have pollution, climatic change, threat to environmental habits, loss of biodiversity, need to increase food production, soil degradation, issues of human health, increased greenhouse gas emissions, sustainability of nature resources. I just put another slide just showing you the challenges that mankind faces today. Then we just discussed about the burning questions. Okay, so these are quite general. So I have just told you about those questions, and we are here. Okay. So I was just wanting to give you, because the title says a panorama of plant sciences, I just thought that I should give you a panoramic view of the diversity in plant species. See, if you look at nature, you will see the bountiful hues of colors of flowers that you can see. There's so much of diversity in species. I have just put a few flowers. I'm not going to go into the technicality of these flowers, because I just want you to enjoy this moment where you will be seeing a wide variety. Of course, I've just put a few representative of flowers like jade wine, the chocolate cosmos, the slipper orchid, and the stinging corpse lily, which is this. So these are some of the plants that are most beautiful. So you have plenty, thousands of millions of flowers in nature. And then do you have only diversity in that? You have a lot of diversity in your food produce, right from your vegetables, fruits, everything. I have just put some of the diversity that we see in the everyday vegetables that we take at home. You can look at the variety of tomatoes that you can see here. There are diversity in carrots. And look at this, a simple chili that we use coming from West Bengal itself. There are so many diverse varieties of these chilies there. This is just make you to wonder, how beautiful this subject that you have chosen is. And then if you look at these plants exist in diverse conditions. So you have studied right from your PU days, in your high school days, that you find plants in every habitat, occupying every habitat, right from the Yellowstone National Park to the polar regions, in the cold regions, and then the deserts, you have the rainforests, you have then the mangrove vegetation in salty swamps, and then you have the lagoons everywhere in the oceans. So everywhere you will see that plant life blossoming. So why am I stressing on this? It's just to make you understand that what is the scope and the potential of the subject that you have chosen. So you are right at the threshold where you can discover about these plants, and you can discover, enjoy, and of course back it up with scientific reasons, so that not only will you enjoy the study, but also you will also be being in your career. I just want to state a few facts. See, this subject is very vast. And as I was telling you, it is so vast that given the congruent of time that we have, it's almost impossible to cover every branch of botany and tell you the scope of every branch. Because you will come to that point during your course in your degree program, where you will be enjoying each and every branch step by step. But today I would just like to state a few facts that came to my mind. One is, we are all now realizing we have taken plants for granted, because otherwise we would not have misused or abused the environment to such an extent by our callous behaviors. So we have now realized that what we took for granted is so precious, because the rainforests are actually contributing to 28% of the oxygen, the Earth's oxygen today. And that is a part of our plant science. 70% comes from the marine aquatic plants, and only 2% from other sources. And if you look at the number of angiosperm species, I have just put angiosperms, not the total number of species that are there. And this figure is, of course, based on certain journals, and there are a lot of variations in that, but it's okay. There are nearly 450,000 species, and of the species, there are 10 to 15 species which are still unknown to science. So students, I think this is what you have to look for. You will have to look at if you can be one of those to discover those unknown species. That is the challenge, and that is what has to spark that interest in you and that quest for knowledge has to be sparked by what is so much what is available, what are the potential that is there, the possibilities and the opportunities that are open to you, so that you can be one among those. Now, if you come to India itself, you have 45,000 medicinal plants in India. And in fact, they refer India as the medicinal botanical garden of India, garden of the world. And you will not believe that out of the 45,000 medicinal plants, only 3,000 have been officially documented. 6,000, of course, have been used by the traditional medicinal practitioners. And there are about 7,500 species which have been used by ethnic groups. So there is so much more to document and study and research and try to extract those biomolecules. This is the potential that I want you to look at. There is so much more to do, and you are the baton who have to carry forward this work of the scientists who have already done. And you will be very astounded and saddened to know that for every 5 plants, one is being threatened of extinction today. And that is a very, very challenging task for us to somehow reverse or somehow make these plants continue to grow and exist with us. And we were talking about this 450,000 species of plants. And today, you know that most of our drugs we are looking at the plant world, so that we can extract the biomolecules, the medicinal property molecules, so the phytochemicals from plants, so that we can design drugs. So with this available number of plants, only 6% of these plants have been screened for biological activity. And out of the 6%, only 15 have been evaluated whether they are having that potential to be used as a drug. So look at what is available to you. You just have a vast area where you can actually go in and you can be the discoverer of more drugs. You can be studying medicinal plants and extracting those phytochemicals for the use of human well-being. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is the scope of this subject. Now, coming back to the number of species that we were talking, though there are so many species that we have just listed out, it is said that out of these species, the online flora has not been completed. The inventory of land plant species is not yet done, and there is an urgent need before we lose those plants to do a complete inventory. This is something I have just looked into the research papers, and I'm coming and telling you today. So if we need an inventory, and particularly if you want to have an online flora, look at the opportunity that is available to you. You are life science students, you are plant science students, if you just hone up your computer skills, the technological skills, and you can combine and amalgamate those two skills, you will be the ones to do these online flora for the future generations to come. So this is the scope of what the botany can offer. And when you look at these challenges and combine it with the beauty around, I'm sure you don't want to lose that beauty. And at the same time, you want to extract what is there from nature for the well-being of the humankind. So phytochemical screening, this is also an urgent need, which I just referred to in my previous slide, that there is a need to look into bioactive molecules, not only on the land plants, but the marine species. There's yet another interesting area which has emerged, that we are trying to understand the relationship between plants and the organisms. It can be plants and it can be microorganisms. And when you understand their relationships, the kind of communications they are having today, there are mycorrhizal communications of plants. And these communications are sent to almost, you will not believe, more than 50 to 100 meters. So if we understand these communications, we can actually use this knowledge to control pests and pathogens and invasive species. So now, don't you think that plants are a natural hands-on tool to help solve Earth's problems? Sorry, you will be solving all these problems that we just stated with using plants itself. So there is on one hand the rich biodiversity, and to save that biodiversity you will have to find solution again in the plant kingdom itself. Then there are other areas of plant science that can offer so many solutions to the daunting problems that we have stated. Because today, students, it's very easy to sit back and say that we have so many problems, we have so many problems. But always, I wish you could always be the part of the solution and just look at the problems at a distance and see how can I contribute as a plant scientist, as a botanist, how can I contribute to find solutions to these problems in my own way, in my simple way? This is the task that I want all of you to think of. There is bioprospecting. These are two important areas that I thought you must be aware of. There are a lot of universities who are working. One is, I have just put the Trans TDU, which is in Bangalore, Transdisciplinary University, Health University, which is doing a lot of bioprospecting and biofortification. See, because this is a all-encompassing kind of a subject where you will be exploring the natural resources, that is your plants. So when you want to explore the natural resources, you must be having a sound knowledge right from the lower plants of algae till the higher plants of angiosperms. You must be able to identify them. You must be able to understand their characters. All that is a part of your curriculum. So your curriculum is designed to give you that kind of a foundational knowledge. And then based on that foundational knowledge, you will be exploring these resources for their macromolecules, for their phytochemicals. You have the foundational knowledge of genetics. You have the foundational knowledge of molecular biology, which you will be studying in the next 2 years. Now, if you apply your minds and study whatever is given in your curriculum, then with that knowledge, you will be a part of this bioprospecting, because you will explore the plants for their macromolecules, their phytochemicals and genetic information. And what for? To develop commercial valuable products. For what? Commercial valuable products to improve crops, for horticulture, for floriculture, for bioremediation. You have so many oil spills everywhere. So you need bioremediation of oil spills, the sewage. Then you will, now everybody is speaking of nanotechnology. Then of course you can't forget cosmetics. Mumbai leads, I think, the cosmetic industry. So you have cosmetics and pharmaceuticals and the food industry. So this is something that has a very multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary and interdisciplinary approach. So you could be a part of this. So this is the challenge, and this is what I want to spark in all of you, that you must be a part of this, and you must start planning your career, not from tomorrow, just right from today. You must decide that, yes, this is what I want to do. Then there is something called biofortification. So we have what is called as, you are going to increase the nutritional value. See, today, as I told you, pandemic, all of us are talking about nutritional foods. We are also talking about those foods which actually bring about a higher immunity in us. So every day you have, people are eating turmeric, people are eating ginger. There are a lot of products which people are consuming, lemon juice every day, vitamin C, hoping, our immunity is boosted. So can we think, and what about the nutritional? People are speaking about the amount of calcium that you have to take in your intake. So there are so many nutritional aspects. Can we increase the nutritional aspect of the food that is already available to us through plant breeding, conventional plant breeding techniques, or genetic engineering? That is, you have transgenic plants. So look at these two the areas where it requires a very beautiful between the various branches of your botany itself and also various branches of other sciences. So I want to reiterate today that don't you feel that this is the most fortunate time in history to graduate? I wish I was your age. You know, you are right at the age where you have the technological savviness at your hands on one hand, and on the other hand, you have the domain knowledge which you can, the fundamentals of botany which you can increase. This gives you a panoramic view, and I want you to look at this very seriously and be wowed. And I hope you will be awe inspired that yes, you're going to love botany. And unless you love botany, the next few slides will be literally meaningless, because unless you love the subject, you cannot take forward your career, even if I offer you a position in a leading company. So let me go. I hope I have been clear, because I'm speaking a little fast also, and I don't know how you are. I hope all of you are awake. Okay. So the second mantra, okay, cold emailing and messaging. So up to now, it was like a technical thing as to what is the scope of your subject, was what I was looking at. From now on, I'll just give you a breeze through what is required, what more is required, because you're going to engineer your career now. See, all the time, you may not be aware, or you may have role models. Okay, you may have people whom you look up to and wonder how did they reach that point in career. It may be a scientist, it may be a faculty, it may be a CEO of a pharmaceutical company. How did they reach that point in career? So it's very simple today. You can connect to all these people, industrialists, entrepreneurs, academicians, okay, whom you have never met, but you have already aspired, that you want to be one of them. So you can actually connect to them through the LinkedIn or through their email, through their websites. And today, believe me, most of us, most of the scientists are actually very enthusiastic to connect to the youngsters, okay, and actually interact with them and motivate them. So connect to them, okay, so that you can build a network. Find your mentor. That helps actually. Go online and find that taxonomist whom you want to become, the biotechnologist whom you want to become, the computational biologist, scientist, be whatever it is. Connect to them by cold mailing. Then what do you ask? You introduce yourselves, okay? I'm giving you a very basic idea of what to do. And just try to find out what they are doing. How did they reach that point in their career? And why did they choose that? And what skills are needed, okay? And what are the barriers or the challenges that they faced? So find out all this. And this will help you to actually build your career. And whatever you don't know, you won't know unless you make an attempt, okay, to find out. This is very important. The third mantra that I would like to tell you is to enhance your subject knowledge, the subject domain. You may say, Madam, this is what all our faculty are telling us. All of them are telling us, please study, please concentrate, please do this, please do that. If you are transformed, inspired, and self-motivated, okay, you are a self-starter, then nobody needs to tell you, because you will go find out, because the thirst and quest in you will actually drive you to find out, how do I enhance the subject domain? When I talk about the subject knowledge, I'm not talking about the academic curriculum that you are going through, that you have to anyway study and you have to do well. I'm talking about the other kinds of courses that are available to you. We were at a point where we never had these opportunities at all. So today you are at a gateway of opportunities. You have online courses through Coursera, Udemy, MOOCs, YM, and of course, n number of universities abroad offering free and offering for a nominal price. So go to these courses. Browse through these courses and see what sparks you. You can do small courses now and then whenever you're free. This gives you an insight into different branches and different aspects of your plant sciences and also others. It's not just about the plant science. You can do design thinking. I did a course on design thinking. It's wonderful if you get knowledge about what is design thinking. What is phytochemistry? This may not be in your subject. How do you extract the phytochemical molecules? You want to know more about RDT, the science of well-being, yoga, herbal technology, plant breeding, horticulture, floriculture. You can name anything, and you have it on your on these courses. So please make an attempt, to do all these courses. This will enhance your biodata. This will enhance your confidence. See, confidence building doesn't just come overnight. When you pass through this and you acquire knowledge, automatically, you walk straight and you are confident. And students, you're not in the third year where we give you the a view of all the opportunities. You are in the second year and the first year where you have ample time today with less responsibilities of a house or less responsibility to run a family or do other things. So your sole responsibility is how well am I going to mold myself? Okay, so go about enhancing your knowledge. There are a lot of skills that you can actually acquire. How do you acquire? I'm very happy to see that your cluster university number 8 has a lot of collaborations between these colleges. Do projects. I'm sure your curriculum may be having these projects, but go out of the way. Think out of the box and do projects, do mini projects. And you can collaborate. Don't work in silos. Today, it's everything about today is to collaborate, make your build up small groups so that you acquire many skills that may be required for you in 2030. What kind of skills? There is a skill just to pay attention to, a skill of observation, a skill of group discussion, critical thinking. So there are so many skills that you have to acquire, which doesn't come overnight. So start looking at them and looking at everything as a possibility and an opportunity to study. Because it is said that fortune favors the bold. So try to be bold and be innovative. Be creative. So we can tell you all this, but that if you just look at the opportunities, and in every given moment you will get these opportunities to innovate, and you are in a place where a failure to innovate or a failure to not do things rightly, you should not be ashamed of, and there's nothing to lose for you, because it's not an exam. It's a self you have just put these things for yourself. So how can you do these skills? See, you may have a newsletter going on in your college. Be a part of it. There are n number of documentaries, but sit together. You see these documentaries on Netflix and Life Sciences. Just watching them is not enough. Make a report of them, circulate it, and you will start honing the skill of how to write well. You be a part of organizing seminars, debates, start of a blog, start collecting information about medicinal plants in your compound or in your house. So write papers and publish it. So when you start doing all this, in every small thing that you're doing, there is something that you learn and there is a lot of growth happening. So I just have a quote here saying it is impossible to live without failing, but that failure should be a stepping stone for you to build that career that you dream. Is to get internship experience. See, I do know that in our current curriculum and current scenario, to do internships like the way engineering people do is a huge challenge, because you may not get an opportunity. But don't be bogged down by that, because you have every semester you have a break. So go and look for being an intern somewhere. Should it be only in plant science, madam? Not necessarily, because being an intern anywhere actually is an experience, and you will know. So there are many of us as students. I see that in my college. Many of the students, I'm sure some of you are there, who will not know what to do. I ask many of my first and second year students, what are your career plans? And they say that, madam, we have not decided. We are not clear about what to do. So for those of you who are not clear, this is an opportunity that gives you some time to think. So what kind of internships can you do? If you know a professor who is pursuing PhD, work for them. If you know a lab, you assist to be a volunteer for the lab. If somebody is writing a textbook, you ask them to be a volunteer for writing or typing those and helping the faculty. If you have some bioinformatic, if somebody is pursuing a project, be of some help there. So any field of experience is a kind of a teaching for yourself. It is an introspective journey. When you do internship, you will understand more about yourself. And in this process of internship and experimentation, okay, where you are learning not things other than your curriculum, okay, that gives you something, an understanding of what you actually love, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and are you interested in research? If you're interested in research, what statistical analysis programs you have to learn, statistical analysis tools that you have to learn. So what is that you have to do? You get an understanding about it only when you are doing all these kinds of activities. Then the fifth one is very simple. See, I'm going right from the first to the sixth one. This is very simple. I may not take much time on this. Like, you'll have to build habits and life skills. Probably some of you may be thinking, what has this got to do with plant sciences, man? What has this got to do with botany? See, please understand that you have to be a well-rounded, holistic person who is totally resilient. See, we saw the pandemic and many of us could not handle that stress itself. So you must have that ability in you to be resilient, to bounce back repeatedly and go to reach your goal. So you will have to cultivate a lot of habits so that you will groom and transform your personality. And these habits also include life skills, because today everyone looks at you as to what life skills you have acquired. When you go to and approach a company or for a job or for anything, they will just look at how you have written your resume. So resume writing itself is a skill. When you walk, your confidence is a skill. When you perform certain activities, leadership is a skill. When you write critically, scientific thinking is your skill. Scientific writing is your skill. Analytical ability is a skill. So try to look at every activity and see how you can develop these skills. And these small habits that we are talking about, because today, we are in a world where all of you are on WhatsApp and you are in your virtual world. So it's important that you also make good friends where you have good discussions and have book reading habits, you exercise, you walk, you do. So all these are totally habits that you have to cultivate over a period of time, and it doesn't come. I just suggest, have something which is called, one of the is Atomic Habits by James Clear. See if you can just go through this book. Then the last mantra that I would like to come and speak to you about is be a part of something bigger than you. What has this got to do with botany again? When you look at nature, when you look at, you're awe-inspired and you feel it's so much bigger than, so much more to offer than what we can offer, you will be very inquisitive and you will start studying, and you will understand it in deep. And when we say you be something, you be a part of something bigger, I'm specifically referring that because today in this pandemic, we have understood how we could be of service to others, how we can actually do something, even if it is a small act of kindness. This goes a long way, because today all of us have to cultivate compassion. You have a lot of research now in Stanford and Harvard University, which says that those of us who are having this quality of compassion are more peaceful, more happier, and the more joyous and happy we are, bold. So this is just one more mantra. So students, this is your world. Probably I look at myself in almost the last leg of my career. Okay, so it is, the future belongs to you. So take that initiative, okay, and take that action, because the future is going to be what you make of it. So you can actually be that architect for yourself, grooming your own future. So this is the first half of my session. I will not take much more time, because I do understand you will all be sitting in your homes, and then you will be probably on the laptop, or some of you may be watching it through a mobile, and your attention span is challenging for me. So now let me come to the next aspect, that is your career. What about your career? Just now I just told you is how to build your career for the future, but now I'm coming to that aspect, is what are the options available. Only when you're ready with those 6 tips, when you totally accomplished those 6 tips, you will be ready to launch these options, or launch, or just grab these options. You will not be able to grab unless you accomplish those 6 tips that I have told you. There may be many more tips. It may not be very comprehensive. I've just put those tips from the experience that I've gained in these years. So let us just quickly look at what are your career options. So you're somewhere here, okay? You have the academic option. You are UG undergraduate students. So you have the option. So I just put, this is a long winding journey of your life, okay, somewhere. So you can be in at any point that you choose to be. So many of you may want to complete your career with just an undergraduate degree. That's fine. You may want to be an entrepreneur. I will go through what are the options over here. You can be an entrepreneur. You can be going to the next career with an additional degree into a teaching career. Another additional degree, you can go to MSc, then you can do your PhD, you can do postdoc, and you can be research. Then you can, at any point, you can have a startup and an entrepreneur. At any point, you can have jobs available. We will go through which are non-academic government sector jobs. These are always available for our plant sciences. So again, just to look at the potential career paths, again, this is another way of categorizing it. You have the industry, which you can opt in for. You can have the government jobs, the education, the academia. So we just go through one by one. So I particularly want to focus on entrepreneurships and startups today, because worldwide, everyone, including India, the thrust and the focus is on entrepreneurship. And particularly in botany, if your life science knowledge, domain knowledge is very strong, you don't have to go and look out for a job. You can be that one person offering jobs for everyone. I would like to just refer to a small boy from Shumaga, who is called as Nivedan Nemte. I can refer to many people, but this boy comes to my mind because I personally met him. He's from a very small town, okay, and comes from a very humble background, okay, not having a fantastic academic degree in his pocket, but then he has developed what is called as Areca tea. You can just Google him, Nivedan Nemte, Areca tea, and you will not believe he's now on the roads from rags to riches. So there are so many people. There is also people called, there's also another company in Bangalore called, who has launched Tengin, the coconut products. So there are n number of examples where people have put their heart and soul and knowledge and built their own company. I wish you students could use that, and you have that knowledge of the diversity in plants, the domain knowledge of the various branches of botany, and you can be one of the CEOs of the startups. I just again listed out a few things. This is again the routine listing that you can see everywhere. So I just don't want to go into those listing, but you can have mushroom cultivation. I'm just reminded of another person right during the pandemic, where of course it may not be related to botany, but then you have Masks of India. When we did not have many people who actually provided masks, she started making Masks of India, cotton masks, which were 3 and 4 ply. And there was a huge article in Times of India, and she made lakhs of rupees. See, that is what, you look at one small opportunity and you grab it and you can capture it. I'm just reminded there is a goddess of opportunity in Greek, and this goddess is bald at the back and has plenty of hair in the front. As the opportunity comes, you have to grab the hair. Okay. And if it just moves a little ahead of you, there is only baldness which you can't grab. So this is that opportune moment you have. So you start thinking on these lines. Can you be one of those entrepreneurs who will be doing vermicomposting? You can have terrarium, bonsai, you can have be a florist, you can be something in the horticultural field, you can be organic farming, single cell, you can do anything and be the entrepreneur. This is one of the best career options that I wish our students could get into. There is another career option for all of you that I very fondly love this, and I'm trying to motivate many people into this. That is a teaching career. All of you are aware that if you want to become a teacher, you will have to go through the Bachelor of Education, and of course you can Google the best colleges and universities which provide these. And the teachers are the role models, the cornerstones. We tell you so many things. It is one of the noblest profession after, of course, farming and in armed services and doctors, etc. I just want to draw your attention here that by 2030, this is a UNESCO UIC data that I'm telling you, that by 2030, 94 million teachers are required worldwide. And there are some of the countries which will pay the highest salary for the teaching profession. That is, you have Switzerland. There are a lot of European countries. So there is an increase in demand, fourfold increase in demand from 2000 to 2019. And with this online platform and remote teaching, you are at that, you will have that head start and edge where you can combine teaching and technology, where you can do e-content development. And so I wish many of you will choose this path, be it after BSc or after MSc or doctorate. This is one of the most beautiful professions where you can inspire more youngsters into this. So this is the next option. Then, of course, you have the routine where after your BSc, you will be doing your PG courses. I just want you to, of course, you may be aware of these things. There are universities which conduct entrance exams. So admissions may be based on merit. It depends on the kind of university that you're applying. But you must always aim at doing in a very good premier institutes like Indian Institute of Science and IIT, where you will have to write a GATE exam. Then those of you who want to write JAM exams and do masters in IITs and IIScs, of course, you don't have it in plant science, biotechnology, and it's given 2 years once. So you can also start preparing. So why I'm just putting this list is because if you have to do these exams, okay, you cannot decide at the nth hour of your final year BSc. You'll have to plan right today, right now after this lecture. You'll have to go and look at these entrance exams and see how you can prepare yourselves with focus. So if you want to do MSc after your BSc program, today there are a lot of options, and probably by the time you finish your BSc, there'll be many more options, just not in botany. You have molecular and cellular biology, you have floriculture, landscaping, forensic, as just madam was saying, genetics, applied botany. There's so many. You can just have to look into these options in plant sciences. And of course, you do have options in chemical sciences and biotechnology, microbiology. So you can choose the subject of your desire. And this is where I was talking to you about the love for plant science, the internships that you have to do, the domain knowledge that you are going to enhance. Only when you do this preparedness you have, that day when there is the entrance and the seat available, you will know what to pick and what is the right choice. That calling from your heart will come only when you understand yourself, and that is what I want you to do. Then of course you do have PG diploma courses, okay, in a lot of topics, right from plant tissue culture, medical botany, biofertilizers, agriculture, biotechnology, bioinformatics. As I told you, this list can go on. There are a lot of options to do this. Then what are your placement options? Because this is what I told your organizers, that I will finally just give you a bird's eye view of the placements. Again, as I told you, this is probably a little too early, because you are at a stage where you have to be that person who is rich in your knowledge, rich in your understanding of the plant science, which is the foundation, the cornerstone for the development or the catapulting or the trajectory where you're going to take your career to. So you can be having placement options in pharmaceutical companies, forest services, oil industry, seed nurseries, lumber, biological supply houses. See, there is another entrepreneur skill that I was just thinking of. Today, we are not finding enough firms which will really supply the plant specimens, the slides, the e-content that is required for the laboratories. You can be a part of that also. So biological supply house. Then also you have employment areas in government sectors, right from Botanical Survey of India, where you have to take up a UPSC exam now, Nature Conservancy, Medical Plant Resources Laboratory, Departments of Environmental Protection. So there are a lot of public health services. So there are a lot of government sectors where plant science students are taken. So the next milestone that you would like to reach is, you could also do a doctoral degree program. You can be a PhD, and of course you can go for teaching. I want, again, for those of you who aspire, okay, to go into the PhD program, you are also required to start preparing right from today, because your fundamentals, the understanding of the plant science should be very, very strong and profound. So for that, you will have to write the UGC NET exam, which is also an eligibility for assistant professorship, and also the JRF scholarship that you're going to get, through which you will actually be able to work in research programs. There is also the CSIR UGC NET program, which offers is an eligibility for lecturers and JRF in only 5 subjects, and plant sciences, one of the life sciences, one of the subjects. So you will have to look into these two, and you will have to crack these exams and do well in these exams, so that you will be taking yourselves into the premier research institutes. And I'm sure, you will be of great, we will all be very proud. Your college will be very proud. Your parents will be very proud. This is what we look at all of you. We want all of you to do very well. It's like, you are a part of our family, and we want to see you do very well. So if you are aspiring for the premier research institutes after UGC, NET or CSIR, I've just listed out again. You have the ISC, TIFR there in Mumbai, and JNCSR in Bangalore, and I've just put those NCBS in Bangalore. So a picture over here. And then you have the CMAP, and then you have TDU, so IARI, and then IIHR. So there are a lot of premier institutes all over India. It's just that you will have to choose where you want to be. Are you able to move out of your comfort zone of Mumbai and travel to different places in India and pursue your integrated MSc PhD program, or maybe a PhD program? So this is what I intended to give you. And I just wanted every slide I tried to put some images, so that you will also be simultaneously be looking at these images and be wowed by the spectacular flowers or the nature that is bountifully present all around us. So with this, I have come to the end of my talk. It's just that I just wanted to convey all these things to you. And now I have come to the last part, where before I acknowledge the three colleges, thank them for giving me this wonderful opportunity. And I thank all of you students, probably your listening patience. I thank you for that. And I just want to say thank you. And of course, now I'm over to the organizers, who will actually see if anyone has put up some queries or questions, so that all of us, I think, can take up these questions. Over to Suraj, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. And I'm sure that your insight and guidance will be useful to every student at this virtual gathering. Now, student, this session is open for question and answer. I will read out the question from chat box. If you have any questions regarding to the presentation and regarding to your career, you can ask directly, or you can post your question in a chat box.
I just have a question, students, that somebody can put it on the chat box. I hope I didn't put you to sleep. Because see, this virtual lecturing is a huge challenge for us, because I'm just looking at my TV screen, and I mean my laptop screen, and talking to you, imagining that all of you are sitting in rapt attention, and I really can't gauge and see your faces. So I just want an honest, I hope all of you were awake.
There is one question, ma'am. Ma'am, could you please tell us about the project that we can do in plant science? Asked by Bhavna. She talk about a project that we can do in plant science.
See, there are a lot of areas where you can do on plant science. It depends on your interest. See, for example, if you are interested in medicinal plants, then there are ways in which you can do phytochemical analysis and subject it to GCMS or spectroscopic studies and find out the bioactive molecules. If you want to analyze, you already know that plants are having microbial, antimicrobial activity, then there is a different line of, you can choose a different path where you will be evaluating the microbial activities. So like this, it depends on your interest. And of course, you'll have to contact the faculty whom you're interested. If it's something to do with environmental science, or if it is something to do with, you can just bring different biofertilizers home, and then in your home garden, you can do a simple project where you can put these biofertilizers and measure the growth of plants. So there are different areas, in which you can work. It depends on your interest, and also you need to contact the respective faculty and you need to browse. It's definitely possible for you to do, and it also depends on the time that you have. If you want a small project for 1 month or 3 months, so the depth will be totally different. Okay, so you can definitely do in any area.
There is one question, ma'am, from Raghavi Kumar. Ma'am, is there any specific specialized course for horticulture for master degree?
Yes, of course, there are specialized courses for horticulture for master degree being offered. I think we'll have to just look into it because I'm not totally specialized in that area. IHR, I think, does a lot of courses in horticulture in Bangalore. There may be other universities. I think our sir, who's BM Konde, who's into horticulture, who's a specialized person, can also take the answer to take in the question, please.
Frankly, in a formal way, student cannot enter from botany to horticulture in a formal way. But there are lots of institutions, the private institutions and the government nodal agencies, which are offering lots of high-end courses, which are into horticulture, high-tech floriculture and agriculture. There the students can go in. For example, in Maharashtra, we have Maharashtra Center for Employment Development, the nodal agency like MITCON. They conduct lots of courses related with high-tech floriculture, horticulture and agriculture, greenhouse technology. After your BSc, you can go for those courses, and completing those courses are equally good like completing a degree maybe from a college like us. So you can go for those courses, though you cannot go into direct formal MSc horticulture as such.
Right, sir. I agree with you.
Thank you, Bandhu sir. Thank you very much, madam. Due to time constraint, it is not possible to address all the questions.
Yes, sir,
And
I
the
can understand.
question will be forwarded to resource person. It was indeed a very lively and interactive question answer session. May I call upon Dr. Wahida Rahman Sheikh, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Maharashtra College, to propose vote of thanks. Over to you, Wahida ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum. A very pleasant and a green evening to our principal, resource person, faculty members, and dear students. Today's webinar, Panorama of Plant Sciences. Be an architect of your career in plant science. Plant science is essential to maintain the world around us. Plants feed us, clothe us, respire oxygen, put roofs over our head, provide us medicine, and many more. There will always be a demand for plant science. An excellent presentation by our passionate resource person, Dr. K.R. Kavita Madam, focusing on the importance and the need of plant sciences subject. The ways to develop interest in the subject, inciting scope of potential in the subject, highlighting different career options for the students interested in the subject, and the most important, to make us realize that the plants are the fundamental to all life on earth. Plants are a natural hands-on tool to solve Earth's problem. Thank you so much, ma'am, for beautiful, motivating, inspirational, and colorful presentation. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. It's a matter of pride for me that I am proposing a vote of thanks for the first event organized by Botany Department, Wilson College Cluster. I, Dr. Wahida Rahman Sheikh from Maharashtra College, on behalf of organizing Botany Department, would like to thank the leaders of our institution, Professor Dr. Nikalje, Professor A.J. Nikalje Madam, Principal of Wilson College, Professor Dr. S.V. Rathod, Sir, Principal of Bhavans College, and Dr. Sirajuddin Chowgle, Sir, Principal of Maharashtra College. Thank you for your support, motivation, and presence in making this event successful.
I will just take this opportunity just for a few moments.
Madam,
Dr. Kavita, it was such a nice session, both the sessions. I listened every word and nobody slept, I know, because even I was listening carefully to your sessions. And the second part was also very interesting because many students, they are not aware of all the branches where they can go and opt as a career. Even the entrepreneurship list was very good. So thank you for your information. And we will be in association with you, with our cluster. So now I take opportunity to thank Bandhu sir, our HOD of Botany Department, Dr. Suraj, HOD of Botany Department of Bhavans College, and I think for Maharashtra College.
Excuse me, ma'am.
So sorry, I do not know the name of Maharashtra College Botany Department Head.
Dr. Rafi.
So,
Anna madam.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Anna madam.
yes, yes.
Madam,
Dr. Vijay Hile is the
Vijay.
head of the department of Bhavan Hazarimal Somani College.
Okay, so
Please
all
add.
the HODs, hearty congratulations that they have come together and they have put initiatives to have this kind of event for students, and it was very necessary after the examination to give them guidance of choosing their career and what are the, to make them their own architect of their own careers. So I congratulate all the 3 HODs, and it was a very good initiative from our cluster. Hope to have some more initiatives in collaborative way. And special thanks again to Kavita madam.
1 minute. Can I just speak for a minute?
Yes, madam. Yes.
I wish to congratulate you because I'm very impressed the way you have organized this. And I just want to say, tell the students, wish them all the best. Okay. Be proud of your subject and you will do wonderfully well. Wish you all the best in your career. I just missed wishing them. And I thank all the faculty over here who have been here listening to me. And it's a privileged moment for me also and an experience that I will cherish for a long time. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
So shall I continue?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I would like to express heartfelt thanks to our resource person, Dr. K.R. Kavita Madam, for updating students about different opportunities available in the field of plant science by making the vision of the students clear in the field of plant sciences to work on and make successful career. On behalf of our principal, HODs, faculty members, and students, I express gratitude and thank to Dr. K.R. Kavita Madam. We are fortunate to thank and dedicate well-motivated organizing team of Botany Department of the 3 colleges for making this webinar successful. A special thank to Ms. Bindu K, librarian from Bhavan Hazarimal Somani College, for her help in technical support on the virtual platform. Finally, I extend my thank to the faculty members and the students of different colleges for participation and cooperation. Once again, I thank all for your cordial cooperation. Thank you. Have a great day.
Very much, madam, and all. I request all the 3 principal to give us permission for closing this meeting.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Please
thank you.
close. Please go
Thank you,
ahead.
principal sir, principal madam.
Thank you very much
Kavita
once
madam.
again, Bindu
Bindu
ma'am.
madam, please close.
Thank you, Kavita
Yes,
madam.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suraj sir.
Thank you.